Our historical memory is always pretty selective, and in this case, it served to bring Boudicca back to popularity. Victoria's poet laureate, Alfred Lord Tennyson, wrote a poem called Boudicca, in which he captured the warrior queen rallying her people, writing, "So the queen, Boudicca, standing loftily charioted, brandishing in her hand a dart and rolling glances lioness-like, yelled and shrieked between her daughters in her fierce volubility, till her people all around the royal chariot agitated, madly dashed the darts together." During Victoria's reign, several ships in the royal fleet were named after the warrior queen. However, as ships go out of commission and poetry fades in popularity, she might have been forgotten again if it hadn't been for the efforts of Victoria's husband, Prince Albert. In 1856, Prince Albert commissioned the famous sculptor Thomas Thornycroft to create a bronze sculpture celebrating Boudicca. The statue shows Boudicca standing in a chariot pulled by two rearing horses. The chariot's not an accurate rendition of the light wicker chariots of the Celts. Instead, it's a sturdy Roman chariot complete with sharp scythes on the wheels to cut down infantry soldiers. I guess the Victorians wanted the queen to seem as lethal as possible, to be a model for Victoria. Her two daughters crouch, bare-breasted behind her, and the queen raises her hands victoriously as one holds a spear of war. Queen Boudicca resembles a youthful Queen Victoria, so there would be no doubt that Victoria was simply stepping into a mantle worn previously by a British queen. The statue is mounted on a pedestal on the north side of the western end of Westminster Bridge, right in the center of London's governmental district. The statue was only erected there in 1902, a year after Queen Victoria's death, but it was intended to celebrate both queens' accomplishments. On the front of the pedestal is inscribed, "Boudicca, Queen of the Iceni, who died AD 61, after leading her people against the Roman invaders." On the other side of the pedestal are two lines from William Cowper's poem, Boudicca, an Ode, which was written in 1782. It reads, "Regions Caesar never knew, thy posterity shall sway." These lines celebrate Britain's pre-Roman past and the influence of the memory of a woman who stood up before Rome's power. All this makes for a fine memorial, except the statue has a whole stand of souvenirs and t-shirts propped in front of the inscription. No one can even read her name, despite the tourist shop's meager attempt to write a transcription of her identification on a poster behind the stand. No one would prop a t-shirt stand in front of Winston Churchill or David Lloyd George or the other statues that line Parliament Square. I think the British people should demand that Boudicca be treated with similar respect.
Absolutely.
But no one's asking my opinion. But I was pleased to see that in 2017, when I was in London at the Globe Theatre, a new play by Tristan Bernard